Hello. How we doing today? My name is Spectrum Dominus, and today we are sorting cards for grading purposes. And what we're sorting is the 1991 Topps Factory set. Now, if you watch the series, you know that this is episode 2 of the Topps set. We done about a quarter of the set on a previous video. We're going to do the second part of the set, meaning we'll be about halfway done after this video. It's not a large stack, it's stack about that many. um I There's 792, let's call it 800 divided by 4 groupings. They're about 200 cards we're going to go through real quick, flip through them. We're mainly looking for cards to go in my PC. This is the 1991, so we're looking for all the Don Mattingly's and Mark McGwire's and Andre Dawson's and everyone from that era that I collect. But there is, however, also a there is a guy in the set that is a good PSA card if it's in good condition, and that is Chipper Jones. And we are looking for that Chipper Jones card more than anything else. So the most important card is Chipper Jones. Second most important card, Don Mattingly. So we'll see if we can find those today or if we have to wait for a further video. So I'm going to start with these are out of order. They're no number order. I did not put the set in order. The thing was sealed. So what we got is what the order we got, what we got. Stan Belinda, Junior Ortiz, Jeff Montgomery, Eddie Murray. There's one of the guys I collect. Dave Anderson, Mark Lee, and we talked about this in the first time of this video. Scott Scudder. These cards, Jim Needlinger, are in actually really good condition considering they've been moved around in that box for decades, since 1991. Tracy Jones, Julio Machado. Any one of these has a serious chance of getting a 10 as far as I'm concerned. Tom Perkins. So pulling that chipper is now this Mark Lemke, I do believe, is a rookie. He may, of course, have a 1990 Topps traded, but we've talked about this a million times. You see 16 games, 14 games. I don't think he has a base Topps card before this one, but we'll look that up, double check. Dickie Thon, Bobby Bonilla, Dave Schmidt, Francisco Olivares, Darren Dalton, Al Leiter, Jose Lind, Dennis Boyd, Scott Fletcher. All right, so far, that was a small portion of what we're doing, and we got one keeper and one we're not sure. We'll look into it. Sid Bream, Randy Velarde, Scott Champion, Luis Salazar, Jim Lieritz, Bip Roberts, record breaker Cal Ripken Jr. I believe this might be. Oh no, this is errorless streak. Ground miscue on ground end streak of 95 consecutive errorless games by Cal Ripken. I wonder if that one's still alive today. I doubt it. But Ken Oberkfell, Mike Felder, Tom Gordon, Brett Butler, Steve Betterosen, Steve Olin, Todd Benzinger, Greg Caderet, Jeff Hudson, Steve Lyons, Mickey Hatcher, Brooks Jacoby. There's a Mark McGwire. That's one that I want. I'm not going to, but I would like to get graded. Actually, I am. I'm going to slide this in. So there are look at the offset. That one's too fat compared to that. We're just going to stick that in our collection. But I believe that there are certain players in the 1990s, early 90s, late 89s that are just worth grading any of their cards. Mattingly, Ryan, McGuire, Bonds, Griffey. Those are the five that I consider instantly gradable as long as they're in good condition. Ron Hassey, Greg Gagne. Let's get that to Shane. I don't know why I turned it over. I knew it was in the right position. All right, there's Shane's twins. Luis Aquino, Roger McDowell, Jim Abbott. Man, I wanted Jim Abbott on my list so bad, but Jeff King. Jim Abbott may one day make the expansion like Will Clark and Gary Carter did recently. See how that works out. Chris Gwynn, Julio Franco, Juan Gonzalez. Now, that one definitely is. This is the first guy out if I end up switching someone. I collect him. He's my number 8 center fielder. I mean, right fielder. And I collect all 8. But I don't. He's kind of like the last guy that made it in. If I were to switch it up and say, you know what, I do want to collect. I'm trying to think of the first guy out of a different position. Bernie Williams. I want to collect Bernie Williams. Then Wangan would be the one that I'd lose. So, but I sleeved him and then put him in the thing. He goes over here. But I collect me some Wangan. Charles Nagy, Kevin Seitzer, Lenny Dykstra, Steve Jeltz, Junior Felix, Brad Arnsberg, Billy Spire, John Candelaria, Ryan Sandberg. That's my starting second baseman. Rob Ducey, John Orton, sorry. Wally Joyner, Kirk McCaskill, Kurt Young, Jose Uribe, Steve Searcy, Jose De Leon, John Barfield, Joe McGrain, Alex Fernandez, number 1 pick, Alex Fernandez, Felix Jose, Mike Scioscia, Kevin Brown, all right, then we got Luis Quinones, Tom Edens, Henry Mullins, Joe Graney, Jeff Gray, Dave LaPointe, Mike Lieberthal, Marvell Wayne, Willie Wilson, Joel Skinner, Mickey Morandini, Vaughn Hayes, Jeff Lefebvre, Alan Mills, Tom Candiotti, Dwight Smith, Jeff Brantley, Mike Walker, Jesse Barfield, Gary Pettis, Bud Harrelson, Ken Daly, Tony La Russa, Mark Davis, Dave Stewart, and George Bell. All right, guys, here's the last bit of it here. That's it. Got Dan Pasqua, Bill Kruger, Rene Gonzalez, Steve Crawford, Andujar Cedeno, Jeff Schaefer, Doug Drabeck, Luis Sojo, Tom Brunansky, John Farrell, Greg Myers, Tim Belcher, Tim Tuffle, Mike Fitzgerald, R.J. Reynolds, Hubie Brooks, Jeff Robinson, Rance McCullens, Anthony Telford, Rob Deere, Dave Clark. Why did that feel thick? It didn't. I mean, it did, but Rafael Ramirez, Adam Peterson, Felix Furman, Jeff Robinson, Vince Coleman, Ricky Henderson. There we go. I was starting to think that we had, obviously we had hit a dry spell, but I thought we were going to finish without even getting one more card for a second there. Jeff Manto, Carney Lansford, Nick Leyva, Rafael Belliard, Bobby Bonilla, Todd Hundley, Tom Kelly, Pete Incavia, and Andy Hawkins. All right, guys. So that was, again, about 200 cards. We ended up pulling 6 cards for our personal collection. Henderson, Sandberg, Juan, McGuire, Ripken Record Breaker, and Eddie Murray. We also got a Greg Gagne for Shane and a Mark Lemke that might be a rookie. We'll look into it, and Sugar may want that card. So we'll talk to Sugar, see if he wants it. If it's a rookie, even if it's not a rookie, if he wants it, he can put it in the comments down below and let us know. And if he wants it, I will add it to his stuff. That being said, guys, thank you so much for being here. If you are watching live on stream, this will be it for tonight. If you're watching in a video, click the like, subscribe, and follow button. There's no follow button. Subscribe is follow, but you know what I mean. But I will see you in the next video, which will be probably next Wednesday for What's in the Box Wednesday. I'll see you then.